Rumors are spreading rapidly that Jay-Z is under growing pressure as individuals he allegedly crossed in the past begin reappearing, and Gene Deal has placed himself at the center of the narrative, loudly claiming that Jay-Z could be the next major name pulled into the storm. Some whispers even suggest Beyoncé may be quietly creating distance. At the same time, insiders say Diddy has stepped back after feeling Jay-Z didn't support him during his own troubles, adding even more tension to an already complicated situation.
Funny to me, man, is that Diddy used to hate Jay-Z. He hated Jay-Z enough when he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay-Z. This is back in the early 2000s.
Did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah, he was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It was probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them. You know what I mean? It definitely was.
Commentators within the industry have long argued that Jay-Z is no stranger to high-stakes conflict, but what's unfolding now places him in a defensive position rather than one of control. Figures like Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal have repeated their claim for years, painting both Jay-Z and Diddy as men surrounded by long-standing tension and controversy, warning that the pressure would eventually come full circle. With Diddy's situation already spiraling, some believe Jay-Z could be headed toward an even harsher reckoning as the atmosphere around him grows heavier.
Well, gentlemen, got together, gonna put up $30 million apiece.
Contemplating doing the first black-owned distribution company.
The thing is, they wasn't trying to let us in the door. That's why I don't trust these people.
But Suge came up with the idea. It was a brilliant plan. He said, whatever the recording funds, 10% goes to the union. Each time you do a new album, 10%. It was going to be some get down or lay down shit. Shortly after that, the feds raided me.
All of us was being hit up around the same time. Someone left at me talking about our move.
It was Jay-Z and Puff that went to those New York corner to let them know what Suge Knight was trying to do. They told Jay, if you help us get rid of Dame, we're going to make you the president of Def Jam.
Why don't we stick together and they got to come to us? For some reason, everybody just wants to do everything on their own. They don't understand.
Industry whispers claim that some insiders view Jay-Z as untrustworthy, pointing to long-running rumors tied to the 1999 incident involving Lance Rivera. Jay-Z ultimately pled guilty to third-degree assault. Yet Rivera has consistently insisted that Jay-Z never attacked him. That contradiction has fueled 2 decades of debate, with many speculating that Rivera chose silence for reasons only he knows, adding another layer of mystery to a story the music world still hasn't stopped dissecting.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my faults. You know, I'm not a perfect.
Critics have often argued that Jay-Z has shown little public remorse for the incident involving Lance Rivera, citing past interviews where he framed the moment as a pivotal turning point. Some feel his remarks came across as cold or calculated. The conflicting narratives surrounding what happened at the Kit Kat Club have only deepened confusion. Various witnesses have shared their versions over the years, while Rivera remains the only person insisting Jay-Z never harmed him. That contrast keeps speculation alive, with some suggesting Rivera may feel pressure to maintain his stance, leaving the incident shrouded in contradiction and debate.
You know, well, you pled guilty to charges of, I don't remember exactly the charges, assault with a deadly weapon. They would have never let me be out here with you if that was the case. You stabbed him. Okay. All right. Do you feel like that was a mistake in hindsight?
I believe that was the greatest thing ever. This is gonna sound crazy, but I believe that helped me. You know what I'm saying? Because that put the brakes on everything. That let me know that no matter how successful you are and how much you're on your road, it can all stop. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you still kid from Marcy Projects, and you know, not everybody they waiting for you to mess up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just go ahead. You know what I'm saying? We let you just go ahead and self-destruct yourself. You know what I'm saying? But that right there was a moment I was like, okay. You know, and I'm glad they didn't have to take for me to be in jail for like 7 years to be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? That moment was like, okay, all that stops. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not going to parties with 30 people, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna put myself in that position.
When you look at Dame still kind of living that life, you know, you could find Dame at the club, you know.
Yeah, but he's with 30 models. It's a little different. I was with the hood.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. He's hanging at a different kind of club.
Right. Industry gossip is gaining momentum that after Diddy's downfall, Jay-Z could be the next major figure swept into a wave of takedowns, with some voices claiming that powerful forces are targeting Hollywood's so-called villains. Commentators reference Ice Cube's belief that Diddy's collapse wasn't natural, pointing out how he went from globe-trotting billionaire to losing hundreds of millions and ending up behind bars within months. Now, those same speculators say Jay-Z could face his own reckoning as the industry grows darker and more unpredictable.
Ever have any kind of run-in with Diddy? Did you ever do anything with Diddy? Any projects you worked on with them?
Yeah, he produced a few records, or had his producers do a few records on my War and Peace album, the Peace Disc. Yeah.
How was he to work with?
It was cool. You know, he gave us great music. We flew out to New York, and I was mainly in the studio with the producer. You know, he had a stable of producers, so I was in the studio with his stable of producers, and I think we did some great music. And you know, I really kind of lost contact with him and really stopped dealing with Puffy around 94. Yeah.
Any specific reason?
Yeah, I mean, they was doing their thing, I was doing mine. And I'm not the partying type. You know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. Ain't never really wanted to go, but I don't go to a lot of people parties. That just ain't what I'm in it for.
Some commentators claim that Jay-Z's tough exterior doesn't always match behind-the-scenes stories, pointing to long-circulated rumors from the 1996 East Coast, West Coast era. According to Gene Deal, Jay-Z stayed inside his Las Vegas hotel room to avoid a potential confrontation with Tupac, and tensions only eased when Suge Knight stepped in and urged Tupac to let the night end peacefully so Jay-Z could perform. These accounts have become part of hip-hop folklore, shaping debates about how Jay handled pressure during one of rap's most explosive eras.
What's the story behind Jay-Z being afraid to come out his hotel room because of Pac?
All right, what happened is that I guess Pac had got whiffed that Jay-Z was in town. Well, he gonna do a show because Jay-Z, he doing a show. But you got to realize Jay-Z had became an enemy of Pac because I think he had said was gonna do a song with Big or whatever like that, the whole 9 yards. So Jay is now Pac's enemy too. So Chaz Williams, who was over Black Hands. Black Hands was one of the labels who did that. Black Gangster had every artist in New York on, and Chaz, who is now getting into the music business, has become a music executive, and he was once a former gangster who was on American Gangster BET because they had him down for robbing 161 banks. That's what they put in their program and everything. But Chaz was a gangster in New York City that became a music executive. So he gets a phone call saying that Jay is not going to come out the room because Tupac Brand deal. So he's not going to do his show. Can he make some phone calls, you understand, to get Pac off the bullshit? So I think he may have talked to Big D, and Big D and Eric B called Suge, and Suge was laughing, saying that wasn't him. Because they tried to make it seem like it was Suge that was doing it, but it was Pac. So I guess Suge called Pac. Pac let him go ahead and do his show and everything like that. But Jay was scared to come out his room.
So that story was really true about Jay-Z being afraid to come out his hotel room.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, he was scared. Probably still is scared.
Some storytellers in the industry even claim that Gene Deal once joked about wanting to knock Jay-Z's head off, using it as evidence that Jay isn't as intimidating as some portray him. Critics argue that if Jay-Z were truly as dangerous as the story suggests, voices like Gene Deal wouldn't speak so boldly about him. This has added another layer to the ongoing debate about Jay-Z's image, his influence, and the myths surrounding him.
Disrespectful. We was in Cancun and he had a personal assistant from my block named Laura. And he had brought like 6 people to the club with him, and he was only supposed to get 3 people in. I was running the door at Daddy-O's from Industries Entertainment. They just told me Jay-Z only get 3 people in. So I'm at the door. I said, yo, Jay, you good? And 3 of your other guys, but the other 3 got to pay. So then he said, Laura, handle him. And at that time, the type of dude I was, you couldn't tell no woman to handle me when I'm talking to you as a man. I said, who you talking to like that? You telling her to handle me? And then me and him, he didn't say nothing. He just turned to the side. And if he'd have turned back around, he'd have got his head knocked off. But Laura told me, yo, Gene, please, Gene, you're going to make me lose my job. You know what I'm saying? And because once she was beautiful, 2, she's from our block. I wasn't going to do that to her. So I gathered myself, stepped away from the situation. You know what I'm saying? But he was being...
Voices in the commentary world have long pushed the idea that Jay-Z and Diddy operated in the same circles and shared similar shadows, with street-level rumors tying them together. Gene Deal claims he heard many of these stories firsthand during his time in the industry. Critics argue that while Diddy eventually faced severe consequences, Jay-Z benefited from protection and silence from powerful insiders, allowing him to remain untouched as others fell. Now, with Gene Deal speaking more boldly than ever, some believe hidden truths may begin surfacing, potentially exposing Jay-Z to the same level of scrutiny that dismantled others.
Protect myself, that there's stories of Jay talking to underage girls. It was a girl from my block that was 16, 17 years old that Jay was talking to. If she was 17. So there's plenty of stories out there that they might flood the market of Jay talking to underage girls. I heard this kid that is claiming to be his son. His mother was 15 when she conceived him and had him at 16. And Jay refused to do a blood test or anything like that.
From your point of view, because I know you heard the statement that, Jay lawyer came out with about how he wasn't really friends with Diddy. From your point of view, was they really friends enough?
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball. They wasn't playing baseball. They wasn't playing football. And they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it. But I don't know what kind of half a homo that is. And you trying to say that you're not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass. And then you making a broad statement to the public. Can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z say the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? You'd be like, yo, How your skinny white girl doing? So, I guess that's a certain type of closeness.
9. Some commentators note that rumors about Jay-Z facing pressure in prison circles are beginning to surface. At the same time that reports claim Diddy is experiencing rising hostility behind bars. Insiders suggest several tense moments involving Diddy were diffused only by quick intervention from officers. Now, theorists speculate that whatever forces might be stirring trouble for Diddy could also have Jay-Z in their sights, fueling a wave of speculation that has the industry buzzing.
While he was sleeping at the MDC Brooklyn jail, somebody came and put a knife, pressed it to his throat. Now, as I keep digging into the story, they're saying, yes, a correctional officer or a police officer was the one who came and basically helped him out and, quote unquote, saved him. Yes. And so, obviously Diddy's lawyers are trying to use this as a way to just get him even moved to a different location. But right now, everything is kind of staying as is.
Yeah, his safety being an issue when he's supposed to be, I think in some sort of protected environment. Remember MDC, isn't that where the Epstein situation happened?
Yeah. Is he safe though? Did you say something about him getting stabbed? I was going to say Diddy's team is saying no, he's not going to be safe because in court we found out that there was an attempt on Diddy's life, that there was a man that attempted to shank him, but they stopped it, the correctional officers. And they say Diddy didn't want people to know that he didn't want to make it a big deal. But of course they're having that conversation about will he be safe because of who he is and how high profile this case is. Right. They're also having a conversation. Mark Geragos is a high profile attorney, a friend of Diddy's, but also the dad of Teenie Geragos, who led Diddy's defense about Diddy potentially being in court. And we can, and just attacks on his life because they say that people look at him as like a trophy or a prize and to do something to him.
What if other inmates hear all of the stuff that we've been hearing in the news all of these weeks and they scared of Diddy?
That's not how they presented it out of
That's crazy to say Diddy's a trophy. Like, he's looked at as a trophy in jail.